Alan Schwartz got on the phone and literally said something like, Jamie, we have a real problem. We're losing liquidity. We need to borrow $30 billion. Can you lend us $30 billion tonight? Which I said, Alan, we can't lend $30 billion tonight.
People at the time generally thought Lehman Brothers might have been insolvent. And I went back and I reviewed their SEC filings from that time and saw that they never even reported a loss, which suggested to me that they may have a game plan of just sort of denying things and waiting for them to get better.
We see about a $60 to $70 billion hole here after looking at the securities, and if there's not some government involvement, then there's no way we could deal with Lehman.
Everything's good. Fed extended acceptable collateral to the window, and we are fine. And that euphoria lasted about half an hour, 45 minutes. Can't be exact, to tell you the truth, but then he came back and said, no, you're not going to believe this, but the Fed is allowing that for everybody except for Lehman. Nobody would return my calls in the government, whether it was Geithner or Paulson or whatever.
It was like overwhelmingly powerful panic at that point. Because we had a willing buyer who could basically take over the firm and assume liability of the firm, with us lending a modest amount against actually pretty good collateral, we had a solution to avoid a catastrophic default. Lehman was completely different.
John Fay called me and suggested that we get together. I met with him early afternoon to talk about the deal. He initially wanted to talk about a minority interest, expressed concern about that, and said we were talking more about a full acquisition. We had brought our people back in who had been doing due diligence on Lehman, and the process began.
You could bar derivatives from the planet. It wouldn't necessarily get at the at AIG. In fact, it didn't even get at where they lost the bulk of their money. If you called it a failure of colossal proportions in risk management, and all that implies, you'd get to it.
In my own mind, there was only one way the financial world and the economy was going to come out of this situation of paralysis in September of 2008, and that I made the fundamental decision that we had really the right people in Bernanke and Paulson and with the president would back them up, that we had a government that would take the action, and only the government could.
We basically effectively committed to put a floor under an economy was falling off the cliff and to hold the system together. We provided catastrophic insurance, which governments have to do. That's what we exist to do.